when we go way back to our roots are concerned, my birth certificate says Meegahawate Muhamdiran Lage Salahuddin Muhammad Ilham Sanu. My educational voyage started from St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia. I was so fortunate to be selected at a European medical college. While I was doing my medical career, on the second year I was exposed to a food poisoning and I had to get back to our country. I very boldly I took the decision, why don't I get into the IT? From the IT industry, the art, it was a complete accident. It was a kind of a rediscovery in my life. I never thought that I have this talent in me.
My name is Shanila and I run a picture framing shop. Been doing this for 20 plus years now. If you were to ask me to describe picture framing in one word, I would say it is the finesse of an artwork or a photograph or an object or whatever it is that is going to be framed. So once we frame something, there could be a really downside to it and an upside, because it could enhance the painting or it could actually destroy the look of the painting. I was quite excited to meet him, and then when he walked in, my first impressions of him was, okay, here is a proper artist, because he had this little hat and this satchel going across his body with all these art things like pencils and all of these things.
So how I started was, there was a piece of paper where I started to, on a normal paper, started to scribble with a ballpoint pen, and then this formed into a kind of an art which I could understand, which was a skin of any animal, and then I started to doodle myself. So there was doodle after doodle, and these paintings started to become 5, 10, 10 to 12. Likewise, I've been having many sheets of paintings. Then what I thought was, okay, fine, the paintings I have put so much of time, and why don't I give the proper framing for those paintings? So started to paint, started to frame one by one few of my paintings. There were very two joyful moments in my life when it comes to the art is concerned. Number one is, once you start a painting, how the concept and the final creation falls in place is a little bit of a, not a little bit, it's a real thrilling point. Since I was continuously doing, the number of paintings with frames were exceeding, so I wanted to go for a bigger room with more wall space. So likewise, this was a kind of a transformation into a gallery, until I felt like, okay, fine, around 50 to 60 paintings were there on the particular gallery. Then only I got into the proper, to have a proper infrastructure of what sort of a gallery that I need to exhibit my work.
He wasn't sure if he was going about the right way and what this was, and I saw gems in it and I encouraged him 100%. Actually, I think that's what he needed as an artist, some kind of motivation and some encouragement and support, and to feel that what he has produced is of value. Ilham is a friend from childhood. He's been my brother's classmate, and I've known him, I think now literally all his life. And we've over the years become great friends as well. And what I really admire about Ilham is, how caring he is about people, and he's a very kind human being. And I think all this has encompassed in what he has produced in the form of art.
I would say he's a very, very unique person. The amount of detail that goes into the art that he makes is beyond comprehension. He's one amazing guy, so much of patience in him. Sometimes I used to wonder, running a business which he was doing for a very long time, almost 30 years, such a busy business which includes so much of activity, morning to evening, where do you find the time to do it?
Coming back to the paintings that it's there in this gallery are particularly in certain principles. Number one, my view that I see the world is in black and white. It's very pure, nothing in between. And then is my imagination's thoughts.
He has another career, but I could see he was kind of like thinking about whether he should just go full-time into art because he had such a great passion for it.
So some paintings, the details cannot be almost cannot be seen to the naked eye. You have to use magnifying at least 1:3, 1:10. So likewise, there are I had done about 300 pieces of paintings.
Going on like this, I realized from all his pieces that each one is very different to the other.
About 30% I have gifted to the right people who admire my work, as well as I have, yes, sold about 30 pieces of my collection of 300.
He doesn't particularly follow a stereotypical series, but all his artwork is inspired by many things in his life.
By having solo exhibitions with regards to either my own solos or solos at reputed galleries in Colombo. Also, I have got involved with many of the foundations like art enthusiasts who bring forward the artist in today's world, like George Keith Foundation, Leo Bernard, Plate Loft Gallery, and likewise there were lots of value addition for me to place my paintings into the world of art.
So Ilham is a very grey-toned artist, I would say. He loves his blacks, whites, that kind of coloring. But when he first came to me, he wanted to colorize his art through the matting, like the borders and through the frames. I had to quietly steer him out of that because when you frame something, you have to ensure that the artwork pops out and it's not the frame that's going to be seen. So I feel like Ilham has now gone in that direction. And another special note I have to add about my two most interesting pieces of his work that I have done. One was a cowhide, which he brought, and he could not decide on what he wanted. So he's thinking, I'm thinking, we're coming up with ideas, and then he's like, yeah, good idea. And then he goes back and he's like, not a good idea. So we have to come back to the drawing board, rethink. And this went on for approximately 8 months to a year. And when we finally did it, we actually sandwiched it between two glasses and attached it through some strings. And then the wood had to have a kind of texture that made it look natural. And when we finally did it and he was happy, that was a successful moment for me, I could say.
One of the paintings for the last, which came up within the last 4 years, was a hide, a stretched hide which put into dry to demonstrate it, how to be done. So what I did, I took my ordinary sketch papers and I drew a basic outlook of the painting, where it is shown as a stretched skin of animal, and then with the help of my closely value-adding framing at Photo Design Shanila.
I think they were all his entangled thoughts, all included in this circular space. And he had a particular way of wanting to frame it. But I advised him to just go neutral, and I think once again we used the double glass concept for this, because it was so powerful, the fact that he had spilled out all his thoughts through this painting. I felt that if we did anything else and complicated it or distracted from it, that the powerfulness of the piece would go away. So just like this, all of Ilham's pieces have a story.
We worked on in such a way that how to place this particular frame in between two glasses to get the proper output of this painting, because this painting is not just on a piece of paper. In between the paper, my paintings are water, doesn't fade, non-fade, as well as it's water resistant. So once those paintings were, once this painting was done, then it was again pasted on a thick canvas cloth, and then kept on, put on to the, wet it, and then put it on to dry. And again then this process was going on so that this painting would take its original position. And then this whole painting was pasted again on a skin, a natural skin. Skin, where now what we can see is from one side of the painting, the real painting that I painted by myself. The other side of the painting, you can see the natural skin of the animal.
What was challenging is each piece took so many days, hours, months, years sometimes. So it is not easy, because if you look at his paintings, they are fine art with little dots or lines which take a lot of time to produce.
He could just cut off from everything else in the world. He could just continuously work on his beautiful art, and he used to time it, and then that amount of work, timing that goes into it is totally worth it.
So every time I get a text or a call from Ilham saying, Shanla, need to meet, got some new pieces, I'm always like anticipating and looking forward to what this new work might be.
I would say to draw the attention towards another painting which is I call Den of Mushrooms. Den of Mushrooms, it's basically also it's a all my paintings take years and so much, hundreds of hours. I multiply do them together. And the one more thing, the last painting that I can talk about is the Den of Mushrooms. There I have included more than 100 types of mushrooms within a A1 size paper, and I have gone through enormous efforts and media and material to bring this painting to a viewable most intricate painting.
So today we have Ilham, an accomplished artist, and his style is very different. I've not seen this kind of paintings anywhere in Sri Lanka or globally, where he can see something from the environment or some image, and then it processes in his mind, and then he sort of draws it in his way that he depicts. Today, anything done by hand, art or any craft done by hand is of utmost value in a world where everything is automated and mechanized. And Ilham's art done with his pure hands, his pure figures and his mind is one of a kind, and it's priceless.
Seventh Avenue is also about making pieces with so much of passion. You won't find anything normal there, and that's exactly where Ilham's art would fit in. Not normal. Amazing work, passionately done.
At the end, what I can say is that I always say is you don't have to become a huge intellect or a person who is well read or who know what is paint, what is art, and degrees across. Yes, of course, those are professionally coming forward set of artists. But what I used to say is that every person has an artist inside them. take that artist out of yourself. Example is me. Thank you.